Hello, everybody. It's Monday night. Podcast Series 3, Episode 15. Is that correct?
Wow.
15?
Yeah, I was well out of 18 last week.
18?
You just made it up last week.
We're just
I
like
just went,
weeks in the year. Is there even 18 weeks in the year?
Yeah.
Something like that. But yes, I think it's 15. We'll go with 15. It sounds like actually, I don't like odd numbers. I prefer even numbers.
I remember this. I remember this conversation about your squad sizes.
Not even that. I can't even have the television volume on an odd number.
Oh, you're just so weird, Steve. You're just so weird.
You're that man that changes it in the car, aren't you? That,
it's got to be an even number. Otherwise, I don't quite feel right.
What do you think about the Metallica song One?
I listened to it twice. It doubles it and it makes the world all even again. Anyway, enough of this distraction about numbers, not numbers. Welcome. It's Monday night. Big thank you to everyone that's watching on the catch up. Got that in there. So yes, thanks for joining us. With us.
Oh, for God's sake!
Kenneth.
I was going to introduce him, but I'll leave him to last. Okay, yeah. We have the usual crowd here. So above me is Martin's seventh son.
Hello.
Over there we have Mr. Fast Brush, Mr. Project Dom from Boots on the Table.
Fastest brush.
Good evening.
And up there, Ken, are you done?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. That's Ken from Miniature Wargaming Warriors. Hello, gentlemen. How is everybody doing?
Good.
Yeah.
Tickety boo.
It's what you can ask for, really.
Tickety boo.
Tickety boo.
There you go.
Especially on a Monday.
On Monday. Happy Anzac Day to our
yes
brethren down there in the colonies.
Yeah.
Former colonies. Penal colonies.
You're right there. Penal colonies.
The views expressed by my fellow hosts on this do not reflect mine on my YouTube channels. I'm just throwing that disclaimer out there because I don't want to piss Beckus off.
I could say Beckus will come around and beat the spots out of me, won't he?
Yeah, I wouldn't fancy that. So tonight we'll mention something briefly, but we'll go on to it more later. Is what do you take from the hobby? Are you primarily a painter or a modeler? Do you enjoy the research more than anything? Are you one of those tournament gamers that feel grey plastic and can only sleep at night when you've drubbed your opposition in 4 turns or less? Or do you play 40k?
Oh, dear.
Oh, controversial. Anyway, let's have a look at who was dared to join us tonight. I didn't see who the first person was in. Normally I check, but I didn't see who it was.
There we go.
Oh.
What?
Wilco, welcome, mate. You were first. Oh, what?
56. Hello again from Australia as well.
Do you know what, chaps? I admire your dedication. It is to be applauded. So let's see who is here tonight. We've got Steve Harbour. Welcome, Steve. Lazy Pirate Painting. Tim S. David Baker. John City. Lionheart. Enemy in Sight. East Norfolk's. Johnny B. We'll get on to Johnny B in a bit and what he made me do to my bust.
Of course, you're talking about the model that Sean sent you, aren't you? And we're not. It's not like some Ann Summers Victoria's Secret style.
No, that's
CrackCon exclusive.
That's CrackCon exclusive. That's the next time. That's the next time I host. I have to order some things for that episode.
He did have some prosecco last time we were there.
You did.
We all had prosecco last time.
I lost the last vestiges of my street cred drinking that prosecco. Rich John here, Don McHugh, Carl Burks, Benjamin, Louis Baby, Grana Priego, Hammond Jam, Baker City. Welcome, Don, Marky Sparky, Andrew JF, Paul's Paint Shed. Hello, Paul. Philip Hyerman, Carazette, Shakos and Sprues. I need to apologise to James. Well, he sent me a message on Facebook that I appear to have ignored for about 6 months because it went.
He ghosted you. Ghosted by Steve.
I like to think I'm quite an accessible person, but anyway, James, I do apologise. That was unforgivable of me, mate. Crossing Obstacles Gaming, Sam Ferguson, Allard, Storm of Steel Wargaming. So Alex is here. Metal cod piece on the Facebook group. That was impressive. I did enjoy that. Impressive. I am very impressed with that. Friend of General Haig, Harpham, Felix's Figures, Michael Hiscock, Mozart, Dan's here, Dan Justin from Greens from Los Angeles, Robin, Old School FRP, Ian Wright, Luke Farrell, CC Audi. Hello, everyone from Denver. Red Steph, Jim Freeday, Scale Model Inc. All right, Corey, how you doing? Modeling for Advantage, Sam Gertz, Evil Jim Reaper. Hello, Jim. Anthony Hinton West, Nick Game, Shring 7, Mini Agnostics, Gary Phillips, Gary Clark. Oh, I need some Sheffield. Hey, Northerner.
Hey up.
Hey up. David Stokes, turning alive for once. Glad you could catch us live, David. Glad you could catch us live. Craig Martin, Leslie's here. Yeah, cheers, James.
Is Leslie reconnected? Yeah, I hope so.
What's
he had some thunderstorm that knocked out his internet for about forever, which is why he hasn't been.
Oh, what a shame!
Yeah,
how many one you got, Leslie?
Not much fun. Nice to visit David tomorrow. Cheers, Leslie. Do appreciate it. Who else has just dropped in? So, God's Own Scale, Tamsin Hiscock, Rich M, and look at this. Hi, all. We watch you live every week on our main TV.
Oh, my goodness.
Huzzah.
It's now become a family thing to point out our teenage daughter bought Grass Tufts Online, the craft project this week, and inspired.
Please tell me it's Turnip 28.
I want to see I want to see a picture of you guys, family sitting around watching us live on the Facebook chat, on the Facebook group. We've got to see it. It's be like Anne and Deck's Saturday night takeaway.
It's a bit true to the show, isn't it?
Yeah.
Oh my lordy!
But can't go wrong with.
We'll have to start doing makeup over on big screens. Cracky.
Always need Tufts. That's the best way to go. So yes, we got our main subject, but let's first have a bit of a catch up on what we've all been doing. So let's go for Ken.
Hello.
What have you been up to?
I
thought you were going to do some James Bond villain type thing. Then when you leant back like that, I think you're going to start going.
Good evening, Mr. C. So behind me, as you can see, just here, it's 3 boxes. 3 boxes of goodness. Let's put it that way. So I've got some pictures.
Is Mike here?
No.
Oh.
It's not train.
They're not that good. So I made a purchase. And this was off the this was off the off one of the Facebook groups. So I decided to invest in a new army, and we'll go through Ken's tactics. So it's American Civil War, and it's painted. Okay.
Ooh.
So this is the first army I've ever bought that's completely painted. Which I'm just going to do a little bit of improvement to some of the bases, which you'll see in a minute. But you got some skirmisher guys. They're dismounted cavalry, aren't they? Those ones.
You got
dismounts behind, and then you got the cavalry.
You got the horses behind. Yes, that's the giveaway.
Yeah, dismounted cavalry. Got some generally sort of commanders. There's about 3. I think I've got 12 guns in total. You got rifle guns mixed, and just normal cannon as well. But I worked it out, and I got the 20th main. So it gives me the opportunity to paint. Those special minis I got. You got some Zouaves in there as well. Couple of battalions of Zouaves. You got horse guns here, limbers as well in the back, as you can see. Riflemen. I think these are riflemen, aren't they? Sharpshooters or whatever you would call them. But yeah, and do you know what? Another thing, it's all metal.
Nice.
There's no plastic in it at all.
Nice.
I don't know who the manufacturers are. So if people in the chat can start pointing out who these manufacturers are, I will be very, very grateful, because I have no idea who they are. I'm gonna have to redo the 20th main stand, because that's one of the main reasons. I did actually buy this, and there's some cavalry there as well. That's not everything either. So I got the limited edition 20th Main guys, from the film. Oh Christ, what's the film called? Gettysburg.
Brothers.
Yeah, the Chamberlain brothers. I got those ones. So they stood there with the flag when they're, on little round top doing their
I've
thing.
got them. I'm going to turn them into rebels.
Oh, okay. Disgraceful, but yeah, okay. Change your head. You turn them into Johnny Reb. Okay, fair enough. But yeah, but that's one of the main reasons I got them. And yeah, there's 12 battalions. 12 Old Glory 25. Yeah. So there's 12 battalions of infantry completely painted all metal. There's 12 guns with limbers, crew and all that. There is the 2 troops of cavalry. There's dismounted cavalry. There's a load of commanders. There's a load of wagons as well. There's loads of other stuff. There's 3 boxes worth. And I paid £200 for it all. So I was rather impressed with that. And it's painted.
God's Own Scale says they look like Redoubt.
Yeah, Redoubt.
Happy days. They're awesome, whatever they are. Love them. But yeah, pay £200 for it for a complete army.
All metal as well.
All metal.
So how much was the postage?
It wasn't. I collected it.
Oh bloody hell!
It was from a guy. Well, do you remember a little while ago I was on about this army? This was the army I was on about that someone was selling.
Yeah.
I put an offering of like £250, and they never sold. And then I saw it up there again. They reduced it to 200, and I was like, yeah, all right then.
How far did you have to drive to get them?
Just no.
He hired a car, so it was fine.
They're from Portsmouth. Someone I know. Well, they're not someone I know. There's a middleman. So there's a guy who works at.
God, you make it sound
getting
so
seedier and seedier, isn't it?
Basically, there's a guy selling them on the Isle of Wight, and I know one of his mates from the Warhammer shop. So he posted it for him because his other mate hasn't got social media, and he brought it back over from the Isle of Wight for me, and I went and picked it up.
Crikey.
So
Can we start,
25 minutes from the house.
Can we start playing the Only Fools and Horses music now?
I was just about to say, so Ken, are you genuinely excited about getting into 20, 25, 28 mil ACW, or is it just the bargain hunter in you? No, just genuinely, I'm quite enjoy it. To be fair, I think I wanted to do it, didn't I? I bought all those plastics.
Are you gonna do a corresponding army?
No.
No, okay.
No, Dom's already got Johnny Reb.
I've got some Rebs, yeah, I have.
There you go. So, but yeah, no, it's there, and so like I say, it was a load of stuff, a lot of stuff. So I haven't counted the individual minis, but just the painting time, and I personally, I think £200 is quite a bargain.
So you get, it is a bargain.
Yeah, it is.
You're going to love them as much as an army that you painted, though.
Yeah, I guess so. I would say so. I've got to get another. This is the annoying thing now. I've got to buy some more bloody shells, but I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to do that direct. I'm not going to go direct to IKEA for that. They're £15 each. I'll just go on Facebook Marketplace, buy another whole shelf unit, take the shelves out, and take the rest of the skip. They're a tenner. I've seen some for a tenner on Facebook Marketplace. I'll get like 5 shelves. Perfect, isn't it?
This episode of the PCP was
on track. We definitely do.
Yeah, I say this episode of the PCP was brought to you by Ken Boy up there.
Yeah, I'm getting told dead scale 25mm.
Yeah. That's true.
Yeah, I don't need to sell them though, Benjamin. It's all right because they're painted, so that's all right now. They're painted. I won't sell them.
So I know it sounds weird, but I couldn't use an army. I haven't painted myself.
Yeah, you talked about this the other week, didn't you? Yeah, because that was what intrigued me. Because Ken obviously, I thought you said Ken, you wouldn't either.
No, but, I don't mind. I've got an army that's not mine already. I've got 2 now.
So what would you do, Steve? Somebody came up to you and said, obviously not ACW, but there was a bolt action army that was absolute steel, that was really nicely painted.
Couldn't say no to that, Steve.
I could because I haven't painted it.
Oh no!
You wouldn't even buy it and then sell it on.
No. And for me, one of the best parts about the hobby is sitting down behind an army you've painted yourself. It's just, I just couldn't do it. I really couldn't. See, this brings us on to what we're going to be talking about later, because Alex said he agrees with me. 70% of his hobby is painting, so we shall be getting into this in more minute detail later.
There's a way around it. To me, basically, what I done is I paid for a commission very, very, very late. So I let him use it and then got him at a discount. That's how I look at it.
Oh God,
that makes sense. So they've always been my miniatures.
The chap just didn't know for about 20 years.
No, I just didn't know. No.
The semantics and mental gymnastics that are going on here to justify this army is fantastic.
It sounds like Elaine when she comes back from the shops with far too much stuff. It's some sort of justification, like, well, it was a bargain. Yeah, well, one was a bargain, but you have to buy 10 of them. That kind of stuff. It sounds exactly the same.
Deary me.
Oh dear. Well, yeah, so but that was me. So for once, I've actually done like something kind of.
Yeah, you spent money. Well done.
Well done, Cam. Well done. Okay, let's move on to Martin. Martin, have you been buying pre-painted miniatures?
No, but I have done in the past.
At a discount cost and made the seller cry. Probably.
No. I have bought painted miniatures before, but I'll only ever buy them if I see like someone who's basically just done the base coats and then they'll just flog them off, and I'm like, okay, that's that bit done, and now I'll do all the detail work and highlights. I've done that before, mainly on Napoleonic cavalry. It has to be said. They're the main things. I had a rubbish week until 2 days ago. So the baseboard I was working on my castle, I broke it and it warped and it went horrible, and I've got to start all over again.
Oh no!
So that upset me.
What Martin? What warped
MDF did you use? Yeah.
What
warped it?
Yeah. What
sun?
No, but what did you use as a material?
Multiple things. It was hardboard, MDF, and a few other things.
You use ply, don't you? Really?
Nah, ply is too. I wouldn't be sitting higher than it was too heavy. It's just a little thing for it to slot into. It's not. It's not a scenic board. It's literally just something you pop onto the table that this slots into.
Okay.
But yeah, but no, it was my own fault. It's because I did it tired, and I shouldn't have done. I was being belligerent, and I should just get on with it, and then I didn't. So
it up.
Yeah, I did. So I got rid of that. Well, I haven't got rid of it. It's sitting here behind me, but it's kind of like this now. So,
mate.
So I'm there, but well, no, it's fine. It's all part of the process. It hasn't.
How long did you waste on it?
About 5 hours, probably.
Oh.
5 hours. But yeah, Storm of Steel just a PVA. Yeah, no, I've done that PVA on both sides. It's not. It was. I was tired. I left it out in the sun. It warped. It didn't stop it, unfortunately, which was frustrating. So that kind of killed it. So I decided so I did a bit more work on the rules for the Barnet game at CrackCon, which is going to be very, very funny.
Oh dear, folks, really watch out. He was in a bad mood. He's done all that.
Lancastrians basically were stuck.
I mean, you guys are in real trouble. That's all I'm going to say.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I was just going to say about this actually, because it was his post when it was going. Has Martin ever voiced why he doesn't like the Lancastrians? I don't have a problem with the Lancastrians. I just don't like one person who's about as Lancastrian as I am. So
Henry Tudor, let me guess.
Yeah, but he's not a proper Lancastrian. That's why he's called Tudor. Anyway, so what I did manage to do is talk about the war story. Anyway, Barnet was Warwick. And speaking of Warwick, I finally got around. Now, this isn't. I did a video. It's up at the minute. And I've seen a few people who said that they've looked at it. So this is the start of the Warwick command base, or at least what I'm going to be using on it, because none of that is stuck down. So I kit bashed and converted Warwick, who's the little chappy at the front.
There figures on that.
There he is. There's Warwick. There is 1, 2, 3, 4. There's 11 different pieces.
Yay!
You wanted to take your time with that one, didn't you?
Yeah, what I'm going to take time with is his coat of arms. That's the main thing. I think I don't know. I might need my head testing after this, but we shall see. So yeah, I don't know. So I'm playing around with the base. Those are the figures currently I'm going to use on it. So there's 4 banners on there.
I like you got a gun on there. I do like
well,
he liked his guns, didn't he?
He did like his guns, but I said in the video, I was like, oh, what do people think of the gun? And it's like a straight 50-50 split.
No, I like it, man. I think that's really cool.
Yeah, I like it. I like it. I'll probably push it further back. So he's at the front conferring with people. One thing I'm pleased about is I've had these little dogs for ages.
You finally got to use them.
Yeah, and I'm using one of the bishop models I've got, and just a sort of a merchant who just looks like I think I made a joke in the video that it was Warwick's accountant. So standing there, but so that was a lot of fun to work on, and that just got me back into the swing of it. So I'm not working on those tonight because I'm going to be obviously filming the painting, so people can watch me slowly go insane trying. You could
put like I don't know if you could, but you could put like a medieval doctor on there, can you? Like with the old nose cone, or is that too early for that?
If there's a medieval doctor with a nose cone next to him, they'll probably suggest that someone there has plague.
Yeah.
And then I probably wouldn't need to fight the battle. We just send a plaguey person.
No.
But no, I know what you mean. No, there are some kits that do doctors, but I want him to. They wouldn't be that far forward.
Got you.
You know, I want him to have like a little conference party, and weirdly, bishops did get quite involved. But anyways, that's all I've done, to be honest. That's it. And I've just done a lot of planning. And of course, my person reminded Henry Tudor starting with Jasper. Yeah, I've got no issue. Absolutely no issue with Jasper Tudor. He's absolutely fine. And he is a geezer who kept on getting beaten until the point that it mattered. Then he won, I suppose. So the funny thing is I was watching. I watched this debate. I have to link it on YouTube. And this debate of Lancastrians against Yorkists, with people arguing, and they basically all just agreed that everything was the fault of Edward III and the Black Prince for dying too soon, and that was it. That was all of it. But yeah, that's all I've done. That's all I've done.
Right, fanfare, trumpets, Dom. What have you been up to?
I've done absolutely nothing.
Yeah, all right, Dom.
No, it's not true. I've done loads. Yeah, I had a funny old week this week. It was funny after you talked about the whole sort of burnout stuff and getting mojo back and all that. And I kind of it was a weird week. So the things I'd planned to do, I didn't do any of, which was kind of intriguing. And I'm not sure what happened, but I did. But I did do this unit of Napoleonic riflemen, 60th.
Wow.
60th.
Oh, you've got him on there. I forgot.
Yeah.
I have indeed. So I thought I had this, just one of those weird phases I was in. I just didn't, I'd had this unit for ages. It's their brigade miniatures from America. So they had to be the 60th rifles, didn't they? So that's, yeah. I did that, which was great to get it out of this pile of shame. Did then. I also made a start. I think I showed this on the Facebook page, but I made a start on my Victrix 12 mils.
Oh, nice.
So I did.
They decals, Dom.
They are decals, mate. Yeah.
What, Dom? What was it like painting them? Because 12 mil for me, I've never painted it, but it's a scale that it. Without saying 28 mil gaming's dead in its arse. What was it like painting them? Did they feel small?
Thing. Do you know what? Genuinely, I was not worried about the tanks because I thought they were, at the end of the day, they're just little tiny things, and you can cover them over quite well. So, but I really enjoyed it. I was showing them in it. I did some half tracks and doing the men that go in the back of that. Was the smallest figures I've painted in a long time, and even that wasn't too bad. These Victrix 12 mils have actually got surprising amount of detail. I'm just doing another load of Shermans here, and literally all over. Apart from the fact I get green paint all over my fingers as I'm sort of drag brushing. So I just sprayed them black as an undercoat, which is unusual for me. So I usually use grey, and then drag brushed with this makeup brush, which is now very green, with the flat green over the top, and then picked out a few of the details and did the tracks in a silvery colour. I think it was, oh God, which one is it? Basilicum grey contrast paint, and the 50 cal on top, and then heavy wash with Nuln oil, and then a very light deck tanning, and that was it really. And they came out beautifully. I'm really pleased with how they came out.
They look bigger than 12 mil.
Really you wouldn't think they would. I think they come out all right. I'm quite pleased with them.
Really nice. You're right about the detail on there for 12 mil. I mean, they look really good.
I was really taken by them, and I was debating whether I should dirty them up or not. In the end, I decided not to, because I thought it might be a bit too clumsy, something so tiny. But yeah, I'm really pleased with them. Really pleased.
You're gonna base them?
Oh yeah. No, I don't know whether I'm going to bother to base them, but don't tell. Funny face there. I did the half tracks as well, so I did the crew in the backs, which was kind of fun as well.
Sweet.
They're really nice, lovely little models. You can make with the pack from Victrix. You can make them American or British. They come with a complete set of crew for British if you wish them to be, or Americans if you wish. And also you can see there's two different types. You can see there's I don't know enough about the different. You probably know more than I do, Steve. But one's got the ring where the 50 cals on, and then one is more open tops.
I think that the main thing was just the British one had it sounds really quite bizarre, but the corners on the vehicle were smoother. They weren't as angular. I think that's one of the main differences. But no, I'm not a half tracker expert, so
I don't know.
They look.
They're really a bit fiddly. They're a bit more fiddly. The tanks were dead easy. I mean, literally, you don't even need to use glue. 90% of them, you just literally they clip together and stay clipped together. The half tracks were a little bit more fiddly. But even then, they weren't that bad. Not in the Rubicon area, that's for sure. But yeah, that was good. So I was pleased to get that done. So I'm just working on another 6 Shermans at the moment, and then I might embark on doing some of the infantry squads. But so I was in a weird mood. So I also I didn't really want to do much else. So I remembered I had a whole load of silver bayonet figures that I hadn't got around to doing. So I pulled those out. So there you go, some zombie Napoleonics.
So these are Napoleonics that I can definitely agree with.
I mean, #weird shit, I know. But yeah, they were just fun. Really fun to do, and I really enjoyed doing them. They were just like we said last week, it's just sometimes just doing something a little bit different.
Yeah.
Just gets you excited. So that's them. There was 5 in that pack. I think these were also from North Star. So there's the Wraith, and I don't know what is a ghoul or something. I don't even know what they are, to be actually honest.
That one on the left absolutely cracks me up. I don't know what it is.
It looks like a rabid hamster. I think he's got teeth coming out. It was unbelievable.
And it looks like the ghost of his cloak there on the right. Looked like he's got a thumb up, a big thumb. Looks like it's just like a big thumb. Like,
I thought at first it was like a blade or something, but it's not. It's actually, So that was that. Another of the hobgoblins that I had in the pack, which is kind of cool. And I finished this one off today. I think this is a plague dog. So somebody can tell me. I have no idea. I have no idea what they are. And pair of vampires, because why not?
Yeah, why not?
In their vampire hunter in bolt action.
Is there a vampire hunter in bolt?
Yeah, there is. Yeah, there's a British vampire hunter model. I'm sure there is. I swear there's a British vampire hunter, a metal figure. I really want to say there is. I'm gonna have to look.
Daydreaming?
Yeah, I need to see this. I need to see this.
Yeah, so that was a weird week for me. So that's what I got up to. Very, very odd indeed. I apologise profusely. Normal service will resume next week, I hope.
No, those Victrix. No, are they Victrix, the 12 mil stuff?
Yeah, they're Victrix. Yeah.
I need to stop looking at them because I want to do O group, but in 15 mil. but they look the dog softies. If I'm being completely honest,
I've got some of your like these. Is the M10 Wolverines as well, which I'm going to do as well. And I've got these are the infantry squads. So
my favourite.
Bait on those in a minute. So yeah, that's So then of course I got to do the Germans. So it's been fun actually. Nice to do. Very satisfying.
So what did I work on? So last week during the stream, I was painting that bust. This will all make sense now. Get the bust gags out of the way. I was going to get like a Sid James type thing or a Kenneth Williams picture to put up while I'm talking about painting my bust or having entertainment with my bust. Anyway, so last week I was painting a bust and I finished it. And there it is.
Awesome.
That is so cool.
Nice, Steve.
Awesome.
And I really, really enjoyed painting it. It was when it first arrived, I was mildly terrified by the size of it and the weight as well. It's really heavy, and I thought, how the bloody hell am I going to paint that amount of flesh without ruining it? But that was completed over sort of 3 nights.
Oh, nice.
And it was just I left it where it was because I thought there was a danger that if I kept going, I'd just end up ruining it and it'd be a complete dog's dinner.
Do you know what, Steve? It was like the old times that you were, because when you get excited about a project, you post stuff in the chat all the time, in our little stream thing. And then for that bust you did as well, it was like, what's going on? Steve suddenly got really excited about a project again.
It was really good. It was, I mean, the flesh, I spent about an hour and a half just painting the flesh. Yes, and I had to go and lock all my tufts away lest I be tempted into sticking tufts. Oh yes, it needs something, doesn't it, Johnny? What you mean that? Asking ye shall receive. I don't know why. I took me about 30 seconds to do in MS Paint, and I was so impressed. It's now my Facebook profile picture. But normal service was resumed. I had Friday off work, and I was going to just use it to catch up with a few things. But I was going to paint what I've also finished, was the bazookas from my bolt action thing. But then I remembered that last year, Carl, so Meza, very, very kindly sent me a Humber Scout car. And it's just been sat in my stash for ages. I'd never think of anything, a project or a theatre selector to use it in. But I looked at it on Friday and I thought, you know what? I'm going to build that. And not only did I build it, I built it, painted it, and based it all in about 2 hours. And there it is.
Oh, nice, man.
Jeez.
Very nice.
Lovely.
It was really. I mean, it's
a resin kit, is it?
Resin and metal, yeah. And there wasn't a lot to it, but I did a bunch of stowage. Because I was based on an actual real world photograph that I found.
Oh, nice.
And so I thought, I'll do that. I did. It's got a 52. It's the 11th Armour Division. That's going to be my next project. So once the mechanized tank destroyer platoon's done, more bolt action, but I'm going to be doing a armor division. So there's going to be lots of tanks, one infantry section, all kinds of cool stuff.
That's cool, man.
But the thing that I had set out to finish on the Friday, I finished. So there is my second bazooka team.
Very good.
Look, I was saying to I think it was Paul.
Did you drill the ends, Steve? Did you drill the hole?
Yes, I did.
Yeah, good.
Of course you did. Good.
Of course I did. Get the old pin vise out and make sure it doesn't destroy the entire thing. No, something I always do with bazookas is drill the end out.
Yeah,
so
that's so much better.
So there's the two bazooka teams together.
Sweet.
So since I'm about to embark on, admittedly, much smaller scale American infantry, what colours did you use for the the shirts and the trousers?
So the tunics are khaki.
Mm-hmm.
The trousers are US dark green.
Mm-hmm.
The webbing is Vallejo yellow olive, and the helmets and the bazookas are
What
US
wash
olive.
what wash did you stick over the khaki?
Well, I started off with Agrax,
And
but
changed.
I don't trust Agrax anymore because I just don't know
Shiny.
what's going to turn out. So I've developed my own, and what I do is I combine Reichland Flesh Shade with Nuln oil.
Oh, okay.
And mix them together. I know I can trust these paints; they're not going to go all gloss on me. Mixing them together, I wish I'd done that from the start because it gives it this nice, rather than a deep brown, it's kind of a reddy brown. But when you apply the highlights, the highlights tend to pop a bit more because it's sort of because Reichland Flesh Shade's more of a richer
flesh in it. Yeah,
exactly, a richer reddier color. But yeah, I wish I'd done it from the start, but I'm not going to go back because there's barely any infantry in the list anyway. So all I have left to do is 2 infantry, 2 riflemen, and that's that project completely done. 1,000 points, all sorted. And then I can move on to the 11th Armored Division project. I'm going to order all that next week, I think.
That's the division my granddad was in as a motorized ambulance orderly.
Ooh, really?
Yeah, he was.
I wonder if you can work that into your list. That'd be quite cool.
I sent some in when I was sort of looking at what my granddad had done, and because I've got all his all the regimental war diaries, which I still haven't finished going through actually, and I wrote to the RAMC museum, and they sent me back all this information on the vehicles and everything. And the thing was, after I read it, I know it sounds weird, but I had less desire to build it. That was what originally I was going to do for bolt action. If you look at my bolt action stuff I've done, it is all 11th armor. But after I did it, because I was going to get like an ambulance and that, but after I sort of read it, I was like, I don't really fancy doing this now. But it's really interesting, the regimental history. I've got the book they produced. I've even got a Christmas card that they gave to my granddad, the 11th Armor Division's Christmas card that they let their troops send home.
Where's Steve gone?
I'm still here.
Your cameras.
You look like me. That's me and Martin.
Yeah. There's something gone very weird there.
What the hell's going on?
Yeah.
I don't know. My camera's gone off.
How bizarre is that?
While you're doing that, I did manage to find. There it is. There. That's the vampire and the vampire hunter model.
For that Conflict 47 thing?
No, that's for bolt action.
Really?
Yep. That is for bolt action.
Bolt action's getting weirder and weirder, doesn't it?
That's quite an old kit.
Blimey.
It's just for like some one-off scenario or something.
Was it just a fun thing? Okay.
Yeah.
That fun thing that we do occasionally.
Not fun. We don't do fun.
That fun thing. Occasionally.
Steve's channel, and he's not here.
We could have mayhem, couldn't we?
Great play the cheeky girls or something.
We could add that to the Spotify playlist.
I'm intrigued by that. So, Martin, was that because it was too real? The fact you couldn't.
When they sent me the list of what the motorized ambulance crews are doing, because they're pulling people out of the tanks. It was a bit more. I don't know. I found it. It was really, really interesting, and I've done loads of research into it and done quite a lot of stuff. I've got like a map of Europe and tracing its route, and they go forwards and they go backwards to get thing, and then it was just I don't know. I felt after reading it, I was like, I don't know, because it was the RAMC. I was like, I don't know if I actually only. We were talking about things maybe you wouldn't game. It wasn't really because I don't know. I just thought I just found it a little bit weird. I guess
the 11th Armored Division in France, were they? But they weren't in North. Yeah, they weren't in North Africa, were they? It was the 7th.
No, in France. They're in France, and then they ended because
and all that.
But they went to. They were all at Nijmegen and Arnhem, and then they ended.
Yeah.
It was
the Part 30 Corps. They're Part 30 Corps then.
Yeah. It was the 11th Armour, who because my granddad was part of his unit was or his platoon or whatever you want to call it was at Belsen for a couple of weeks before it got moved on.
Yeah,
because it was there. So I don't know. It was just, but it's interesting. Like it's really interesting, and I've got all of the so I've got the regimental war diary for or the unit war diary for that unit of the motorized since the following really. So it's really cool to read, you know, seeing like at different times there's like one line in there that says, you know, but effectively they find a Sherman that's sort of obviously been hit by a German armor or a German anti-tank stuff, and so they have to go and check it out, but it's already either they've been taken prisoners of war or the crew evacuated or something like that because there was no one in it, and it's all written down in the commanders, and that's his commanding officer that's writing all that down. So it's really interesting. It just takes quite a long time to go through it all, and it's really helpful if you know someone who's in the service, so they can translate military jargon, because it's bizarre. It really is. I know it makes sense, and I know there's people watching who, you know, who've served, and I'm sure it's the same for people who served in the States and other armies got it, but it took me ages to work it out. I've got like I had to speak to my father-in-law mainly, and I wrote down lots of different things. I got like a whole glossary of things, because if you look it up online, it doesn't, you know, you just can't find it. It's not like, you know, some kind of like common usage terms.
Yeah,
that makes sense.
Yeah, it does. Oh, welcome back, Steve. It's your channel.
I'm not quite sure what happened there.
Very odd.
This is my channel, so let's talk about the cheeky girls. I do have some kind of
You've got some sort of standard to live up to.
Some standards to maintain, and that's where it begins. But yeah, again, massive thanks for everyone that's contributed towards the playlist. I put another update on at the weekend. It's up to about 140 songs now, and I think we've just hit 12 hours of music on there. So it's I was actually listening to it while I was painting at the weekend. So there's a lot of psychedelic rock on there.
Is that because of all the paintbrush licking and the?
I was gonna say there wasn't for anybody else. It was just you.
I'd love to know the how many people like psychedelic rock but also still use Humbrol paints. There's probably a link between the two there. Right, so let's move on to tonight's subject. Now, this was actually inspired by my Humber Scout car, because from having that one model on my desk, I then went on to building a new theatre selector, a new list. I then did some historical research into the 11th Armoured Division on Friday. I've been planning colour schemes, and I've been planning, you know, what models I'm going to buy. And it just made me think that the hobby really is multifaceted, and there's so much you can take from it. But I'm trying to get is I think we all take something different, or different aspects of the hobby, and that makes us who we are as sort of individual gamers, hobbyists, painters, modelers, etc. So just that'd be interesting to find out what sort of what's the ratio, you guys? What do you really focus on, or is there anything that you don't tend to focus on that you'd like to in the future?
Well, that's good. That's a good one. Who do you want to start with?
Whoever, I don't mind. Who wants to go first?
Go on, Ken. You go.
Go on, Ken.
No, it's always me. It's always me. Go Martin for once.
I went first last week.
All right, I'll tell you. For me, the thing that motivates me entirely is crushing everything Ken puts on the table.
Yeah, no.
That's it. I mean, nothing else comes close. No, I think you know, I've said many times, I'm a gamer. I like to game. I enjoy the actual you know, on table action, so to speak. That's what excites me. You know, we're talking about what Ken was saying earlier about buying an army, and you know, you say you would never, you know, use an army that somebody else has painted. For me, that just doesn't bother me in the slightest. I've got loads of figures that I haven't painted myself. And it genuinely, and I don't know what I'd do with all the time I had if I didn't paint. But if I had suddenly a magic wand to suddenly paint everything in my collection, I wouldn't actually mind terribly at all.
So imagine if you got into a new game then, and you really couldn't be arsed painting. Would you actually go out and look for a completed army for that game?
So I would probably have to have played a few games before I considered that. But yes, I would, if it was affordable. Yes, particularly a small scale game. If it was, I don't know, 50 figures or something like that you had to use. I'd be very tempted to go and do that. Absolutely. Wouldn't bother me in the slightest. And it meant I could actually get it on the table quicker and play with it, because that's what I want to do with it. That's why I want them out there. Kind of. There is. I have to say, the thing, is we talked. I think Ken and I were on Ken's podcast. We talked a little bit about this and what motivates you, and the Zen diagram of where you are, between collecting and it's very, very true, Andy. Very true. I definitely think in the last, probably since the lockdown, I've become more of a collector than I probably was before. So there is a degree of that. I actually like to collect the figures and have them. And so I definitely have more interest in painting than I ever used to. I mean, a few years ago, the old Don would have not been interested in painting anything. It just, I would have done it because I couldn't afford to do it any other way. I don't know. It is about the gaming still. And I love that, the interaction you have with people on the table when you're playing and having a laugh, and that side of things is what gets me going.
So is there anything that you don't do now that you'd like to do in the future?
I don't do enough gaming.
Yeah.
I'm lucky I do probably a game every week at least, which is a lot more than many people get away with. And when normal service is resumed, then I can play a few solos in here as well. So that's good. What I do that's different. I don't know. I don't know that I'd do anything different, to be absolutely honest. I'd love to actually get round to getting the 3D printer working and have a go at that. But that's a detail.
I think that's dangerous of you, Dom, because you just won't stop.
Probably true. Maybe I'll wait until they come out pre-painted. How about that? And then that is no problem at all. I don't know that there's much I would change, to be honest. I can't think of much else that I would do differently or drop even. I'm quite fortunate where I am with my hobby at the moment, I think.
So would you say you're definitely enjoying painting more now?
I definitely feel. Well, I don't know about enjoying. I feel more confident doing it than I ever used to. I didn't like painting because I didn't think I was very good at it, and I wasn't. I still think I'm just slightly above average painter. I've definitely improved, and so I feel much more comfortable doing it and showing it off. That's for sure.
That was always my biggest worry when I started the channel, was showing off my models.
Yeah.
I think everybody feels the same thing.
And then you realise you don't actually care because at least you've tried.
Yeah, I was watching Lee's stream last night and Justin was on, and Justin does some amazing painting. And to hear him talk about how nervous he was showing off his figures, and I think, why? It's just so amazing. I think everybody feels the same.
No, I think that the old cliche we are our own worst critic. I think that when it comes to major, I mean, even now I'm terrified sometimes that if I make a video and I've painted something, I mean, I like that I've painted it, but I know it's putting yourself out there. I know you shouldn't be at that because the communities are a lovely bunch of people, and I don't think anyone would maliciously go out their way to to do anything like that. But it's still I think it's just the creative niche, isn't it? It's showing what you've done.
You are putting yourself out there to a degree, and I think there is that little bit of trepidation when you do anything like that. It's like when you stand up in front of a room and give a speech or presentation or something. It's no matter how used to you are doing, how regularly you do it, and how much you get used to it, you still feel nervous. Most people do, anyway. Yeah. So I think there is that degree of it, but I think I think there's also that certainly encourages me to do more. Certainly, the reputation I have for producing so many things encourages me to do more. Because 1 week when I actually come on and they go, I did absolutely nothing. No one's going to believe me. But it will happen. It does happen occasionally. But definitely, putting yourself out there, showing off what you do is kind of a challenge. But it definitely has helped, and you get a lot of positive advice. As you say, I think most people are very positive, very, very positive. And so that's great, and that helps. And I've learned techniques from all of you guys, even Ken.
Yeah.
Really? Maybe not Ken. But everybody else in the community as well. No, definitely from Ken. How to use contrast excessively.
It's weird. Look in the comments. There seems to be a sort of so we've got Don. So he hates painting. Hate it. If I could game with unpainted miniatures, I would. I look at a painted army when I finish it, but going through the process is like torture for me.
See, to me, that I would not go unpainted. I would rather do something than unpainted. I like the visual look of the table. That's important to me. So in the game, it's not just about gaming in that sense. But as we'll say, I'd get somebody painting for me if I had,
That's what Shrings just said. He would happily pay a commission painter for his metal mountain if he could afford it. There's an interesting take as well, which I've touched on before about the research. So Lionheart, I would say I'm a collector first because I love history. Mm-hmm. I like reading and researching uniforms, colour schemes of armies. I'm doing then gaming second. That's very, very much like me. That I think I'd like to be a bigger gamer than I am. I'd love to game, most weekends. I just can't do it because of not knowing too many people that still game. Which is why I'm looking forward to CrackCon. Get to hang out with some like-minded souls and throw some dice around. But the research is definitely one for me as well. You start off with, the 11th Army thing that I'm doing, that started off because there's specific rules in this theatre selector for different divisions of regiments. So I chose the 11th Armoured. Mm-hmm. I did a bit of research. I even went through my decal stash, and they've got 11th Armoured Division decals in there. And it's just that rabbit hole. And then I was reading about Normandy onwards, and it was just so interesting. I thought, I've got to do this. I mean, I don't know how long it's going to take. Months probably. I don't know whether I'll actually ever game with it. But having that background and planning that project for me is a really massive part of the hobby. Another thing that I've really enjoyed is when I was doing those M10s was the personalizing them with the stowage and building the crew. That for me, taking that time it's just so. I mean, it takes a long time, but it's so rewarding. And I just got a certain accomplishment out of doing that. It was really quite good. See, Alex, well, research is a big for me too. That's why I do historical gaming. Yeah, I can absolutely, definitely agree with that.
100%.
What else have we got? So Roy,
I built it. I need to glue it together, but that's like the hobby zone. That's the paint racks I'm going for that are going to go on the wall. Hello, Haley Pajamas.
Lucky guys.
I know people pay good money for that.
Don't upset her. She's in charge of the spreadsheet.
Oh God, no! Don't upset the spreadsheet.
No, that's it. Don't upset that. She can access where you're going to end up sleeping, Ken.
Yeah, can I just say as well, if anyone tells, if you go to CrackCon and you're staying in the hotel, do not, under pain of death, tell Ken what room I'm staying in, ever.
I'll pay anyone 50 quid if they go and wake Steve up in the morning at 7:30.
I'm not a morning person at all.
No amount of money can make me do that.
No. I won't be doing that. It's an interesting one as well from Gary. I love painting, but occasionally I freeze and think, my God, I wasted half my life sitting at the table painting. That's my.
You haven't wasted your life if you're happy.
Yeah,
this is what I've realised. If as long as you're happy and
Yeah,
you enjoy it.
You haven't spent enough time, Gary.
You haven't
That's all I'm
wasted
saying.
it.
Only half.
Yeah. I thought about. Do you know what? I thought about this, right? And I've tried to get a balance with my whole life in perspective, with things, with my house and things like that now. And I don't know what it is, but I don't know if I've hit being an adult at 31. I don't know what it is, but I realised that people turn around and tell me that painting minis and playing with toy soldiers is stupid and just wasting your life. Well, they haven't got anything really fulfilling their life then, surely, that they enjoy.
Exactly.
Because it is getting deep. Let's go there. Why not? But it's true though, isn't it? You know, we all enjoy. This is what we enjoy. Some people really enjoy going raving. Some people enjoy going clubbing. Some people like going down the pub every single weekend on a Friday at 5 o'clock when they finish work. That's what they like doing. But this is what we enjoy doing, and there's nothing to be ashamed of that. And I've nothing at all. So what? We like painting metal things. Some people like painting canvases. I don't care what anyone thinks. It's like my trains. I like my trains. That's just what that's what I enjoy with life. I'm not going to stop it because someone turns around and calls me sad, especially if it's Laura. It's going to do it even more.
Do you think it's more of a modern attitude in that, as I'm going to go deeply sociological here, we're a lot more diverse these days as people, and interests and hobbies and pastimes are generally they're not really looked at as long as you're enjoying yourself, and it's within the boundaries of the law, obviously. It's just one of those things. I mean, Friday, I spent all day Friday painting, listening to music. And I really enjoyed it. It was a great way.
As long as you're happy, what's the problem?
Exactly. Yeah.
You could be happy just sit there reading a book all day because that's what you want to do right at that precise moment. Don't let life pass you by and not enjoy it.
No, I'm not going to let someone dictate or impose their views upon me about what I choose to do.
It's like we all, I don't think any of us really enjoy football, do we? Well, I don't. I used to enjoy it. I used to watch it with my granddad. It used to be something I used to do, but. I some people are so passionate about it. Like Dom really loves his rugby, don't you, Dom?
Mm-hmm.
You like your rugby.
Yeah.
I personally don't understand why you enjoy rugby. Fair enough, you like it. I think the game's very clever. I think it's very smart, the game, but I just don't. Do you know what I mean? You just don't get excited about certain things. Like some people really like cricket. Like Martin, you don't mind watching cricket, do you?
I like cricket. Yes,
I like cricket
exactly.
too.
You like cricket. I like playing cricket, but I don't like watching cricket. So there you go.
Yeah, I like watching mixed martial arts, but I'd never take part in it.
Yeah, exactly. We've all it's just one of them things, isn't it? We've all got different tastes and we all enjoy it. But as long as you're happy in yourself and you're feeling happy, it doesn't matter what you do. Who cares? Some people like they collect weapons and stuff like and stuff like that. And like I went for a little phase of collecting a few. I won't show it because you're not allowed to see the symbol, but German World War II. Pins.
Oh right.
That symbol, right? Mm.
Yeah, that symbol. Yeah, but like the medical wound badges and stuff. I want to frame them and put them in my room because, I think they're quite cool. Like the Iron Cross. I think that's good. And I want to get some British medals and things like that, and just because it adds to the atmosphere of the room, and it's just all part of my hobby. But when Laura came in the room the other day, when we're showing people around in the house, and like they come into my room and they see, all this. This is my space. It's so good because once that door's shut behind me now, Laura doesn't have any need to come in here. There's no need. I'm just I just know that I'm left alone, and it's my safe space.
So, Ken, I'll ask you the same question then. Is there anything that you within the hobby that you don't do now, or you don't think you do enough of?
Yeah, airbrushing.
Oh God,
airbrushing, 100%. I'll try and turn the camera around a little bit. 2 seconds. So that's the end of the desk. Okay, so my desk goes right along there. You can see there's a hobby. It's right back here. So that's now my airbrush station. There's a window right here, 6-foot window. So in the old house, I couldn't set that up because the room was too small. And I couldn't have it going out the window. So I couldn't do a lot of airbrushing. I'd have to do a very small amount because you don't want to breathe in the fumes in and wear a mask and stuff. But now I've got that. like I've said to you guys before, I want to build all these miniatures, and then I want to Zenithal prime them all, and then maybe put the base coat color on of the miniature with an airbrush.
Mm-hmm.
And I'd love to be able to, because I think an airbrush coat is so much smoother. It looks, certain minis look absolutely amazing. Especially like heraldries and stuff like that. I've seen people do heraldries with airbrushing. To do certain colors like yellows and whites with airbrushing, it looks so much nicer than it does with a paintbrush. But that's like my major thing. I think I would definitely want to do some more airbrushing, and get. I don't think I'm that bad at it.
I am
weathering. I don't think I'm that bad. I think I'm average, but I'd like to get good at it. Do you know what I mean?
What, start playing around with pigments and stuff like that?
Yeah, maybe piss about with pigments. Not even that. It's just being able to get, details. Like if I want to do like with 40K and stuff like that, you can get like glowing effects. Like making glowing effects, and maybe do that with like some like tanks and stuff like that, and like maybe make my tanks seem like they're firing, and try and get that sort of like explosion sort of effect coming out of the barrel. Maybe with some smoke and stuff like that, and I think that would look pretty cool if I could get that down with the airbrushing and make that look really smart. I am Spurs fan. Some people say I hate football. Yeah, very true. I kind of get that, but again, it's like the football thing. I used to like football, but people's things change, don't they?
See, the thing is, I used to watch football, but as I've got older, I don't see people getting upset. My view on it is a bit of a tangent. Is why are people getting upset because millionaires can't do their job properly? I mean, that sums it up for me.
It's like kind of my outlook on life. What you put there, Steve. It's like I don't like this big world of the small, the few people that get to really live the high life, and us meager mortals that have to work every day.
Yeah, when they can't do their job properly, people who've paid £90 for the privilege to watch them.
Yeah, and watch them. Yeah, they're upset.
I don't get it.
No, I don't know. I'm the same. That's why I kind of like our modelling, because let's be honest. Yeah, there's money in modelling. There is money in modelling, but there's not football money in modelling, is there?
No.
Do you know what I mean? It's not. Hello.
I wish there was.
My name's Michael and Alan Perry, and I'm Elon Musk. Do you know what I mean? It's like there is money in it. Don't get me wrong. People can make a good living out of it, but there's no multi-millionaires completely.
No,
is there? The nearest thing you got to that is Games Workshop. That's corporation.
Like I said the other week, then we were talking about gaming companies going out of business. I said it to Dom. A lot of them, doesn't matter how big they are now, Games Workshop, what have you, they all started out as passion projects.
Yeah.
Because they wanted, they were interested, they wanted. I mean, some grow into,
giants
like Games Workshop, and others don't. But at the end of the day, their inception at the very start of the business was due to having that passion for the industry, for the hobby. And sometimes it takes off, and sometimes it doesn't.
Well, Laura found out she's secretly a H.G. Wells fan as well. So, and then I told her that H.G. Wells was doing miniatures and stuff like that. She couldn't believe it, because H.G. Wells was a real cat advocate. I love cats, as you all know. So does Laura. But he's a very cat advocate person. So he was doing, we watched the film last night. It was quite depressing, actually. I'm not going to lie. Something to do with this I can't remember his bloody name. Leon. Well, she did cat illustrations. He made the cat famous, basically, because in the Victorian times they never used to be. But H.G. Wells was doing playing his miniatures, and he was also promoting these cats. And Laura's like, I really like this guy. I was like, well, he likes miniatures, Laura. And he used to play with toy soldiers. And she looked at me. She went, "You like cats, don't you?" I went, "Yeah." She went, "Are you a reincarnation of H.G. Wells?" And I went,
Sorry.
That was a little bit. I didn't mean it to sound quite as deprecating.
Oh my goodness!
You heard it,
Literally
heard it here
You were
first, folks.
reincarnation of H.G. Wells. And
Is it, I thought it was a sermon, according to Brother Ken, but now it's turned into something completely different, according to Brother Ben.
Oh, you've missed me, haven't you?
Oh my
So yeah,
God.
apparently I'm a reincarnation of H.G. Wells. There you go.
Wow!
According to Laura.
Wow.
Wow. I
didn't expect the show to go that way.
No,
Nope.
And we're on the national. There we are on the
Hey!
mainstream TV.
Hey. Oh, wow.
Apparently, the family didn't want to be in that picture.
Oh, there's the tuft.
Ah,
There's the tough.
Awesome.
There you go. Awesome.
They would look great stuck on the back of a Perry miniature.
Amazing.
Sacrilege.
It's not sacrilege. It's art. It's
then he
creativity.
cheat on his wife, and probably not the biggest compliment. Didn't say I was golden. That's
Yeah,
it, Louis Wayne. That's it. That's the guy. Louis Wayne. That's it. Yeah, that is quite a depressing film. I'm not going to lie. We thought it was going to be all about cats and happy days, but it's pretty depressing.
Who's in it? Out of curiosity.
Benedict Cumberbatch. Oh Christ, there's a couple of others. The one who plays the Queen in The Crown in the second series, Joe something. Oh, I'm shit with names. But yeah, there's quite a few famous people in it. I'm not going to lie, there are quite a few famous people in it. But it is pretty depressing. So if you're expecting a happy, clappy film, that's what I was expecting. No.
Okay, I'll bear that in mind.
That's definitely off mine.
It's definitely your
that
type
one
of
off your
film, Ryan.
viewing
You'll
list.
enjoy it. You just see, you love it. Oh dear.
So
Yeah,
Martin, let's move to Martin then. What would you say was your sort of hobby ratio then?
I think I'm pretty even between all of it, to be honest. My research fuels my modelling and my painting, which fuels my gaming. I love doing the research. I probably do a little bit more. I mean, I've got stacks of notes, and this bookcase here has got like a folder in it full of just like names I've scrawled down, like when I'm like I'm doing a research into units in the Crusades, and you see something else mentioned, like the one I was talking to you about, Steve.
Yeah.
And I've had to scribble all that down, so I can make that. So my research fuels my hobby, especially because I pick periods where, apart from the Napoleonics, where orders of battle and things like that aren't really set in stone. So I don't really get stuck in this, oh, well, I've got too many platoons for this, so I'm like, no, I can make what I want. I think I'm pretty evenly split. I mean, the thing that I enjoyed most at the moment, and the thing that I'm doing more than defense, I mean, I'm the opposite again. I've stopped airbrushing.
I did.
Yeah, you have, haven't you? Yeah, ever since your airbrush broke.
Well, but the thing is, it broke because I didn't use it for ages. Then I used it and it broke. So there
was a message there.
Yeah, I stopped caring. I went back to doing ham. I mean, I use rattle cans and to do Xenophor highlights, and I use rattle cans to do other terrain and stuff like that. But I kind of just went back to hand painting everything and trying to do freehand and things like that, instead of trying to, because I realized that a lot of the models I've got don't need effects. I mean, I like effects, like Ken's talking about glowing things, like I do enjoy doing that, and object source lighting I have, but a lot of the miniatures I've got and the way my hobby's going now don't need that. There isn't like really the Wars of the Roses model with like a glowing gem on his face or something like that and because they're very much the realm of generally, I know it's sci-fi and fantasy, and they're doing things on tanks and vehicles. And because I haven't, my projects don't really involve a large amount of sci-fi and fantasy models. There's a few, but not many. I don't really need that anymore. So I've kind of gone away from that kind of stuff, and I focus more on trying to do freehand, like the heraldry and stuff like that. But the thing that I'm enjoying and what I'm taking away at the moment is getting into rules mechanics and writing. Doing little things from the moment, like just doing house rules, which then develop into it's something we're going to come on to, I think, isn't it? But house rules and where that goes, and then leading. Well, I think I've got. You have to, for every house rule you make up, something I've been chatting about with Dom. There has to be a corresponding rule. You can't just change one thing because that will have an effect on something else in the game. If you raise something's attack, something's better. Well, you have to correspondingly lower its defense. And I've enjoyed looking at things and balancing, and then that's developed me scratching down lots of things about a system and trying to come up with my own system and ideas and stuff like that, and then looking at really the stuff that is kind of behind our hobby. And I've enjoyed that. I really have. I've been watching lots of interviews with games developers and people like Rick Priestley and Malicio and all sorts, the old GW rules writers as well, Graham Davey, and just thinking, there's a cool mechanic. They kind of have mechanics like, I had this mechanic, I want to try it. That didn't work. We'll hold that for something else, and then we'll throw it into some game and then that'll be that thing that everyone hates. But so that's kind of where I'm in a minute. I mean, something I do enjoy, is, and I think Alex Stormer Steel does this a little bit, especially in his gaming. I don't know if you guys do it. Is I like to introduce people to new periods and new ideas and new ways to game. I like, what I like to do. I want to break away from the regimented way of gaming that a lot of people feel when they come into the hobby. I need X number of points, and I have to have this many men on the base. Why?
Points. Me and you hate points.
I don't hate points. I agree it can be a structure. I just think there's other ways you can structure it. I understand the need for points. I just think there's ways to structure it in a more
historically
fun way, or making it part of the game. Rather than we'll do a list. But I understand the need to do a list so that you can quickly go, I've got a spare night. How many points do you want to do? 2,000. Let's go. I get that. I completely get it. But I like the idea because, I've had people messaging me about the Wars of the Roses, and they're like, why do you do 5 models of base? I don't. I do 5 or I do 9. I do whatever. It's the base.
Whatever you fancy.
And I just like at the moment sort of introducing people to things like the Wars of the Roses or Order Crusades and breaking them out of the idea that everything has to be so regimented. Like half the periods that Dom paints up before I really came on the stream, I was kind of going, "What the hell is this? What is it?" And these are new ways to play.
I don't think the Perrys completely understand how much you've contributed to their end of year figures. To be fair, so it's definitely.
He did get a Christmas card from them though, Ken. So
did he? No. He would have dropped down dead if he got that.
Yeah, that'd have been framed on the wall, and all my daughter's pictures would have been taken down to make room. No, I really enjoy getting people into it, and I know you sort of joke about. I love the history, and I'm passionate about the history, and I want people to be as excited about the history that I find exciting as I am. So when I find that's why I do the history videos, because I love the fact that you can find this one little link between some minor noble, for example, in the Wars of the Roses, and then link it to some event that has far-reaching consequences to present day. And that's what I love. I love getting it. And that's why I love doing CrackCon. I know we've done it once, and I'm looking forward to it because we've got people in the Barnet game who've never played the Wars of the Roses before. Who haven't got armies, and I want them to see the rules, to see how fun it can be, and that's not just saying, "Oh, look how good Hail Caesar is," but just what you can do with a few changes in the rules to to fit a system. And I was
going to say we're playing Hail Caesar, but we're playing your own version of Hail Caesar, aren't we? We're not playing the rule set of Hail Caesar. So there's just a shout there. Some things will be different when we're playing the game.
Yeah, there will be. You need to swat up on it before we start, because I need to send you because there's been some additional changes since.
Oh, is there?
Yes. But so I think that's where I am really. I just my takeaway at the minute is I just get excited by being able to share the hobby and the things that I find exciting. That's the whole point of my channel, was I just wanted to share the stuff that I found cool and exciting. So Evil Jim Reaper, the Lancastrians will win this one. They might. They
do.
It's amazing. I've got these two chat groups going between the Lancastrian one and the Yorkist one, and they're so funny because obviously, again, I know they can't see what each other are saying, and I'm sitting there going, almost want to put a spy in the other one. Accidentally like let one of them into the other chat quickly so they can scroll through it and like disappear. It's like, all right, lads, this is the plan. It's great fun, but it's lovely to see people like taking. And loads of people have gone away and painted stuff for it. Who originally I don't think were planning on painting anything. I think it's fun. But I think if you can be passionate about any project, other people will be passionate about it. Like for example, I don't know. I think Miller's already put it in the chat. Miller's got some Marlborough stuff for some reason. He was talking to me about it the other day. He's got some Marlborough Wars.
Is he insane?
I have no interest in that. But what happened was, I was like, oh, I'll go and have a look at that. Oh, that's interesting. And the thing is if he can get excited about it, and I mean that's the whole reason I got into ECW. Is again, it was something I wanted to do, but then Miller, who was the one who got me into it, because he was so excited. It's infectious, isn't it? That enthusiasm, and that's what I want to do. I want to infect everyone.
Infect people.
Yeah. Okay, we'll leave that there.
Quickly moving on from wanting to infect people.
If you going to inject him with anything, I think we'll be all right.
We are going to make that worse. He actually made that worse, right? I want that on the record. He made that worse.
Moving on. Right, that's a good segue into some questions. Thanks a lot for that, chaps. That was really interesting. Good seeing it in the chat as well. A broad mix of people who love painting, don't love painting, but there seems to be this kind of, with historical gaming, everyone loves the research. They love the background, the rich flavors. Yeah, absolutely. So I was really interested. No,
I think that's
maybe
probably
the
the
week.
one thing that draws everybody together, isn't it? Is the history.
Absolutely.
Do you want to go and play fantasy or something? Why would you bother?
There is that. I keep getting this thing where, like with the next project I'm starting, I can see it. I've not even painted a figure or bought a figure, but mentally I can see what I want it to look like when it's finished. Mm-hmm. And that is the one I'm doing now with this tank destroyer platoon. That's exactly what happened. I just saw this really cool thing, and it's turned out pretty much what I planned. I can't wait to see. I've got 2 figures left. 2 figures. They're gonna be done this week. I cannot wait. But yes, that was really interesting. So I believe we have some questions that we didn't get to last week.
We do. We were. What should we do? Is there any news? Have we got any news?
There any news?
There was one bit of news I saw, very limited on the news front. I'm just trying to find it. Excuse. Talk amongst yourselves while you're. Here we go. This was one. Valor's new game called Blood and Crown under development, which is a late medieval rule set.
Oh, skirmish.
Yeah. But this is following their Blood and Steel and Blood and Plunder and Blood and Valor, right?
Yes. So it's this. Right. I believe it will be very similar mechanics. They apparently play tested it at Recon 22.
Okay. So. I'm interested. I just haven't played any of their games yet.
No.
So I don't know. No. So to me at the moment, it's like, oh, great, someone's doing it. And I assume if I dislike one rule set, I'll dislike them all. So a lot hinges on me getting that game in, James at CrackCon.
I can't wait to try James's game out. A lot is riding on that, James. Didn't he drop his laptop on his foot?
He said he dropped his laptop on his foot, so he didn't know if he'd make it. But I think he's coming and he's got through it. But I had one small bit of news, and again, it's I like to post these up because we get a few people in there. There's a new role-playing game going to be on Kickstarter, and I put this up on here because I thought that might excite some people. Yeah, there you go. Monolith are releasing a Batman role-playing game. I mean, to be fair, I have a bit of an issue with, but I'd probably just end up buying that book because I like the look of the book. That's I have no idea if it'd be a good game or not. But if you're interested in that kind of thing, that launches in about a month's time on Kickstarter. So just head over there and have a look. But you're asking about questions. So Stu Evil Stew very, very kindly sent us a number of questions. In fact, he sent us so many questions that we've probably got quite a lot
forever, haven't we?
So it might be, and so again, if you've got some questions, maybe we can get the question of the week back. Get the question of the week going again. So
you're gonna need 3-hour episodes.
You know,
Christ, no, we don't want to see that.
So
no, I don't want to put that out there.
So,
just quickly before you do that,
Yeah.
do you know you were saying about role playing, the role playing book and the games?
Yes.
Yeah, where's this going?
We should create like a sub group on the planet, because like me, I'm on my own down here. I don't know anyone that does role playing games, but I want to play role playing games. Maybe if we put like a subgroup out there on the Plastic Crack Podcast Facebook group, say who's interested in playing role playing games that hasn't got anyone around, maybe they can form a little group and get together.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Might be an idea, because we always talk about it, don't we? I'd love to do it, and there's people out there I'm sure that would love to do it as well, but can't get a group of people together to actually do it. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I'm sure we can try. Yeah, no, good idea. Set up a post and then see and then pin it to the top and we'll see if we can get. This is where we end up with like 30 people. It's like, right, into the dungeon we go.
Let's play. Martin's got a right massive scenario out.
It would just be there's a dragon. Let's see who wins. Who goes first?
You'll be the first person to shout Leroy Jenkins gets 10 gold points. That's a good idea, Ken. No, pop a thing and pin it to the top. Find a suitable photo. So this was a question slightly related to what I just talked about. But this question was, how many house rules can you apply to a game before it becomes its own game? What do you reckon?
5.
5.
5.
5.
What?
Just 5. 5.
Just 5. That's it.
Just 5.
Move on, next question.
5 major changes, and it's your own game.
Ken, make it 6. It's an even number.
Why do you think I made it 5?
Love it.
I don't know. I think eventually, if you apply house rules, just as a natural evolution to it, it will become its own game. It may have the same core sort of spine, but it'd be like a transplant. It'd be like taking that spine and putting it into a new host.
Yeah. Well, look at
very
all games are based off a D6. All games based off a D6 are, all similar because they're all rolling dice. You're just rolling dice for different outcomes, if that makes sense. No,
because the moment you've got things like people are using the bolt action rules to play American Civil War. People are using Chain of Command to play Star Wars games, but I think they still maintain the core element of that game. So you've got the bolt action activation, the Chain of Command activation, the shooting, etc. But I think naturally, if you keep adding more house rules, it's going to naturally turn into its own game. I mean, I don't want to just throw an arbitrary even number out there, but I just think eventually, if you add house rule after house rule, which people do, it is naturally going to evolve into its own game.
I don't want to be cynical, but I agree with Bicker. When you have enough house rules that you can't get sued by the original game publisher. I know what you mean, Dom. What do you think? Because you've played a lot of games, and you house rule things and change things about. What do you think?
I kind of think, does it really matter? I mean, at the end of the day, if you're playing, the only time it really matters is when you go to play somewhere else or with different people who you don't regularly play with. But if you're playing with your regular group of friends, I think you should absolutely house rule things, because there's always things in the rules that you think just doesn't quite work for me this bit. And so if you all agree that that's a similar thing, then fine. That doesn't change the essence of the rules. Is there a point where they're no longer the same rules? Possibly, but I don't think I've ever got to the stage where we've ever house ruled that much that it would actually suddenly fundamentally change, because the mechanics are still the same. If it's a bolt action type game, you're pulling the dice. If it's a sharp game, it's pulling the cards. If it's all that kind of stuff, black powder, it's the rolling of the command dice. There's a fundamental core to every rule set, isn't there? And as long as you don't change that, fundamentally the rule is the same. The rule books are the same.
There's a good point from Steph. So if a game needs multiple house rules, it's probably best to look for a different set.
Yeah, I agree.
Clearly not reflecting your desired outcome.
I don't necessarily agree with. I agree with that to a certain extent, but what I was about to say with Dom, and it kind of reflects this, is I think there's three main core, isn't it? There's command and activation, there's combat, and there's morale.
Yeah.
Right? Those, I would argue,
fundamentally they're the things.
They're the fundamental things. So if you're still using the system, the core system, so for example, in Black Powder, the command system, the combat system, and the morale system of the break tests, for example. But then you change everything else around it. You're still just using that core. It's a little bit like this will probably only mean something to you, Steve. But there are some role playing games. There's like the Fate core system that basically just gives you here's a system. Now go create everything. Now go and make whatever you want around it. But here's a mechanic. For your games, but it's up to you to go and create everything else around it. And I think there's a couple of rule sets that obviously do that. There are sort of one-page rules, and I can't remember the name of the other game that gives you a system. But I think the thing is as well, obviously, when publishers are making games, they're trying to please a lot of people. So if you and there's someone who may be more, for example, like Steve, you're well into your World War II, and you might be like, well, this doesn't really reflect the way I would like it to work, so I'm going to, for example, tanks in bolt action, I'm going to change this. Or for me, Hail Caesar isn't quite, for like the way it's written, doesn't quite get as far as Wars of the Roses, although it goes up to the War of the Roses. So I don't
like tanks and bolt action, I've got to admit. They play very different to how I'd like them to play. I don't.
Plus for me, Bolt. I don't know whether Ken, you I think you've mentioned this before. It's an infantry based game.
Yeah, I kind of prefer if tanks weren't in it. To be fair, a bit controversial, but
I like building them though. So
yeah, I know. But then you got tank war for that. But
I know.
Benjamin just said it. He's managed to succinctly say what I was sort of gabbling. They cover long periods of history, so you need house rules to make them period specific. Who better to do that than the people who have that passion to play that history?
I know. Have you ever seen when Little Wars do their rules reviews, and they assign a certain percentage to historical flavour, and there's been some where the rule set's been good, but the historical flavour, it's just felt like a war game. There's nothing like period specific for it, even though it's meant to be a certain period. They award a certain amount based on the historical flavour of it. I think that's an interesting point, that sometimes you need that. I mean, for bolt action. I mean, I love bolt action, but sometimes it's
not the most historically accurate system, is it? Let's be honest.
It's not. I've always said it's a great game, but it's a commando book. It's a commando comic book game. It's over the top. It's fast paced. I always say, if people want the next step from that, it would be Chain Command, which is more of a simulation, more of a tactical simulation game than the commando book style of bolt action. So I think that having that historical flavor is definitely important.
Yeah. And it's it does depend what you're looking for, but I think the points were made. If you move, if you find a rule system you need to mutate, shall we say, so heavily that it becomes something else, that it probably wasn't the right rule system for you. So play something different. I mean, we're blessed with apart from in really obscure periods, you have so many rule sets out there. But it's just move on to something else, right?
Martin,
how many Napoleonic rule sets are there? I mean, geez.
Well, yeah, I'll tell you what. Talking about that, we were just talking about role-playing games and stuff. I've just found completely. You can pay what you like, but there's free Napoleonic. I think it's called Duty and Honor. Have any of you ever heard of that?
Nope.
It's a role-playing game, and there's beat to quarters where it is. And I've just found it. It looks absolutely awesome, like for the Napoleonic Wars. So you're a character in the Napoleonic Wars, and it's a role-playing game, and it's completely free. I'll put a link up on the Facebook group. I think because I think you guys might be interested in that. To be fair, was pretty cool.
Only if Steve's a French drummer.
I was about to say exactly
be
that.
a French drummer. Funny enough, you can be a French
Amazing.
drummer.
I've
Spanish,
said it
Portuguese, or English as well.
I've said it before, and I'll say it again. I'd rather listen to the Smiths. It's my stock response for everything. No, I was going to say then, Martin, what was that? I can't remember the name of the rule set. Remember, it's what can't. But they're releasing version 2, and they've completely overhauled the rules.
By Fire and Sword.
That's the one. Yes.
Yeah.
So that's have they done that based on sort of years of feedback, or
basically, yeah, they've done it based on years of feedback, but they also said that the wargaming community is now very different in the way it plays and what it expects in the wargaming community when they made the game 12 years ago. They haven't done interim editions. They took lots of feedback. They've changed basically everything. It's not like there's a few changes. There's basically said if you want to carry on playing version 1, that is almost a completely different war game. Basically, written a new war game. There's a whole new system, a whole new. I think the only thing that bears some resemblance, as far as I'm aware, is the force selection using the Flames of War style, like platoon picker things with the silhouettes. But I think it's a lot maneuverable. There's more unit cards, and they just said that there's just been a change in the way that they've seen that people want to play. People want faster paced games compared to what they did when they released, which was a much more divisional size. You go, I go. Let's put 10,000 orders down on the board and flip them and countercharge and charge. Whereas now people, because of lifestyle and speed, and they want fast pace, keep people engaged. So, and that they said reflects a new generation of gamers coming in who want that as well. It's an
incredibly brave thing to do, isn't it?
That's what I was thinking. Yes.
Yeah. You've got to be pretty sure
ripping it all up, haven't you, and starting again. It's extraordinary.
Yeah. I mean, you got to be pretty sure of yourself. But then, we'll see what happens. Some people despise that first edition.
We know how bad us gamers are, and I count myself definitely in this category. Of sticking to, once a rule set moves on and we don't like it, we don't. We don't carry on with the old one generally. Very few people do. You get the odd.
I wonder if anyone's still playing first edition bolt action.
Probably. There'll be some out there playing it. Some people love it.
I think there's a difference. It's like when games change completely. It sometimes like second editions and third editions are just effectively errated versions of.
Yeah.
But then which is almost what Black Powder version 2 was effectively just an errated version 1 really was. I mean, it wasn't the only thing I think that really changed was how rockets worked when they became more fun. That was really about it.
I think one of the biggest ones would be what 40k looks like now compared to Rogue Trader. I mean, it's unrecognizable. It's a completely different game. What edition is 40k up to now? Is it ninth?
Yeah, it's 9th edition.
Yeah, I think it's
9th edition.
Yeah.
And I've said it before, I only played up to 2nd. No, 1 or 2 games in 3rd, but that was it for me after that. So, but yeah, the complete change of the original Rogue Trader 40k into what 40k is these days, completely different.
It's just an interesting question. I think the thing is as well, what's given me personally through doing like that Wars of the Roses thing. I mean, what about that? I've done that system of rules to use with Hail Caesar, just little things to add to the game to give them a bit more of a flavour of the period. Has given me confidence to maybe look at scratching down some ideas for rules for your own system, which is quite a lot of fun. What I was saying earlier, when I was doing those little Wars of Roses things, it's the idea of if you again we were talking about this, weren't we, Dom? It's like if you add something, you've got to take it away.
You've got to balance
it's causality. You can't, and so when if you drop a certain rule from the main system, that's there for a reason, and you probably won't find, like, for example, if you drop like what were we talking about, like stamina? We were talking
stamina
about
one, yeah, that
that's it. If you keep That's it. Because one of the big differences in Hail Caesar to Black Powder and Pike and Shot is in Pike and Shot and Black Powder, you automatically disorder the enemy unit on a roll of a 6. Right? In Hail Caesar, from missile fire, that is a missile fire result of a 6 you roll on a break test chart, and that's because the results could be wildly more different. In Hail Caesar, you'd have to roll snake eyes for the unit to run away, but they could they could stall, they could carry on moving disordered, or was it hold your ground disordered, or retreat in good order, move to the left, move to the right, or 7 up. They do fine. And on the face of it, you're like, oh, maybe that doesn't work too well. We'll just do the 6 causes disorder automatically. But then you realize that in Hail Caesar, all of the units have double the stamina that they do in the other games, which means you're never going to get rid of them. You need that chance to be able to. So if you're going to do something like that, you then need to drop the stamina to balance the effects. So it's I actually really enjoy. I think some people must find it infuriating, but I really enjoy like trying to pick through rules now. I don't know if that makes me a bit sick or something, but I like seeing how they work.
I think they're great. I mean, that's part of the fun of it, I think, and working out. But you never really know until you get them on the table how it's going to play out.
Yeah,
but then
something reads great. And then
is a case in point, though, isn't it? I mean, you've effectively made your home rules, for virtually the whole book, but it's still at its core is still Hail Caesar. Yeah, I mean, anybody who's played Hail Caesar can play your modified version of that because fundamentally it's the same thing.
Because the core mechanics are the same.
It's house rules coming out of every department, isn't it? Really, I was going to say every orifice, but you know what I mean. But it doesn't change the fact it's still fundamentally a game. So going back, Lupamorph.
Hello, literally on the opposite side of the world to us.
Northern New Zealand. Happy Anzac Day to you. So I think it's interesting. It goes back to that question: when does changing the rules actually change the rules? You'd have to. Nothing you've done, and you've pretty much rewritten everything to some degree, apart from the core mechanics. It's still
it's when you start pissing about the core mechanics, isn't it?
What about combining mechanics in different games? So I've always thought with bolt action, chain of command, I'd love to use the patrol phase from chain of command,
bolt action,
the activation for bolt action, but also in the bag have a tiffin from sharp practice.
Yeah, that's a really cool idea. Yeah.
Can you those a way of? I mean, I don't have a problem with doing that, but a way of doing them, I think I've seen people do is with scenario specific rules, where someone might say for this scenario, I don't know, the bomb's going to go off when the tiffin's drawn out or something like that, and you'd add them in so you can do those nice with it. But
people put in an extra coloured dice, so each turn there's like a red dice in the bag, and when that's drawn, the turn's over.
Yeah,
and that means you have to prioritize what you want to maneuver.
I do like that. That's a cool idea. I like that.
I've seen that.
Pretty cool because that is pretty cool because you don't know if you're going to get everything out. Jim, go on. I was going to say, Jim asked you a good question here, Martin. He put, if they did a Hail Caesar version 2, would you update your house rules with them or just still use version 1? I guess it would depend on how much of a change it depends how much of a change it would be, wouldn't it?
Or it depends if version 2 of Hail Caesar had some new mechanic in it that I liked and therefore wanted to reflect. Like, I don't know, if commanders suddenly got some new stat line or some ability or something that you needed to add in, it'd be like, how does that reflect? But to be honest, that by that point, I don't know. Am I just using the main thing I just use from Hail Caesar now is the quick reference sheet. That's mainly
the stats,
and the special rule page to look at the special abilities. But that might just be because I played a ridiculous amount of it. But this is, and then Dom's got a lot to answer for now, because the next set of battle reports are all sieges, and there's some siege stuff in the Hail Caesar book, but it's not adequate. So now I've got Warhammer Ancient Battles mechanics coming in. So we've got Warhammer Ancient Battle mechanics, Hail Caesar, and then my little additions on top. And me and Robin are trying to suss out how we're going to basically achieve this once I get my act together and recreate that base wall, because now I'm absolutely insistent that we can't play the game until I've done that base. So I need to get my arse in gear. But yeah, that's a good question actually. That's a fair
interesting question, isn't it? Yeah, it's yeah.
There's nothing wrong with modifying rules. You don't have to play it, as long as your opponent agrees to those rules when you play it.
Only time you can't do it is if it's a competition set.
Yeah.
Yeah. Play competition.
Or unless you want to play a competition of your
unless the competition organisers, of course, change it, which they do from time to time, don't they? But
the only real change we make to bolt action is we don't use Tiger Fear.
Mm-hmm.
No, we don't use that bloody stupid jam turret rule either.
That seems
that is
stupid. Taken out a lot.
I don't see the. I just don't see why it was in there. I really don't. I just don't understand why it was. As soon as I read that, I was like, "Yeah, we're not playing that."
So, Steve, with the Tiger Fear, do you then make German tanks a little bit cheaper?
No, I just don't. As long as I'm enjoying myself, that's the main thing. But I just think that rule is.
It's been nerfed, though, Steve.
It has been nerfed, but we still don't include it. Yeah. And eventually, as well, there's a few other changes that I want to make. Like I've always said that medium machine guns should give additional pins. Yeah,
100%.
Because they're not used in the way that they were
should be used.
Yeah,
they're not used the fire support roll, are they? For suppression roll.
Exactly.
Yeah, I did see somebody use that where they actually said you could actually you couldn't do casualties, but you could do double pins, something like that. And I thought that was kind of a clever idea. Quite like that.
I'm desperately in bolt action, and this is because I'm a sore loser after my last game, which I had a bit of a rant about to someone on the stream. Is I desperately want in bolt action for infantry units that haven't taken an action yet the ability to do the ambush order, but like some heavy modifier. Because I don't think there's a way that someone should be able to just drive up into their face and then not react. It just annoys me. Or that a unit just comes running at them unless they're being charged, they can't react. I think if a unit moves and stops 6 inches away from them, they should at least be able to react to it somehow, and not just get grit. Because we were looking at it going, I was like, "Are you going to assault?" You went, "No, I'm just going to shoot you with all of these medium machine guns they've got." Like, oh, okay. The unit's got, that's something I just want. But then again, you're changing a mechanic. But I think the ability to take like that dice out of the bag and go, no, they're going to ambush. They've spent their order. A bit like when they go down, like where you can take the dice out and make a unit go down in reaction to shooting.
Yeah, I think if you can take the dice, can't they? I think the Finns are allowed to do that. They can.
They move and then go straight into ambush.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that's that's something you could probably try out, and then if it doesn't work, it probably won't because there's something I'm missing, and then go back to the
Never ever change a rule system based on the fact you're fed up with a particular game. That's one thing I will say. That just doesn't work.
Yeah, see, this is the thing I couldn't get. It may have a down on a 4 or something, but it's just too much of a higher chance of it happening, and not every turret got jammed when it got shot at.
Also, it doesn't seem to matter what caliber you hit it with.
No.
So if you can hit it with a anti-tank rifle, it jams it. You can hit it with a 105mm howitzer shell.
It's still going
to, and it's still the same chance. It just makes no sense whatsoever.
If you watch that Iron Fury, you see a lot of jamming going on with Russian tanks.
Andy just said, can you shoot me an email about making unit stats? Yes, you can. You can just email it. It's somewargaming@gmail.com. But feel free. That's absolutely fine.
I've got a bit of like news here. This probably isn't old news, but I just found this, right, you guys. So I need to go and find a Stanley tape measure that's 25 feet long.
Oh my god!
For this reason. Look at the difference in sizes against those tape measures. So now, do we only use one tape measure? Look at it. 1 inch, 1 inch, and the 25-foot Stanley, the 2 inches is much further along than the friggin'. How to cheat at wargaming without actually cheating? What do you do? Can you see it? Look at the 2 inches, Mark. So 2 inches, and then look at the 2 inches on the top one. They're at different lengths.
Is that the one? Is that the tape measure that Laura got very upset with you about?
No, but I'm just saying, look at the difference. That can be the difference in wargaming. That can be a massive difference.
You see, now that's where if somebody actually called that difference out, I would pack up.
Yeah.
that was the one rule we joke about in our little like I said, I think it's a club. There's 4 or 5 of us now. Is that there'd be like one question if you're joining, which is you've been playing all your game all day. The person wants to charge your unit. They are half an inch out. Do you enforce it? Yes or no? Basically, I think the idea is if you say yes, you're like no, leave. Let them do it. Like.
Well, I still remember that tale from the X-Wing tournament I was in, where I gave that guy the benefit of the doubt because in X-Wing, if you're any of the base leaves the playing area,
that's it.
His base went over by like the width of a gnat's pube, and I said, oh, look, it's fine, mate, it's fine. And do you know what he did? He rallied completely and won the game. So.
You shouldn't have let him have that gnat's pube. Dom wouldn't have done.
I wouldn't have done. Hold him down and beat him over the head. That's what.
No, of course. And when it comes to rolling dice, it's in the tray.
Obviously.
In the tray, isn't it, Dom? It's always in the tray.
Always in the tray, mate.
Always in the tray. And do you know? Did you know? I don't know if you watched the Ken. If you watched the ECW battle against Miller.
No,
I've done. Right, go and watch it. Go watch the start of it. There's a little. Have you not watched it? There's a little. Reference for you there because he might have done something quite similar, and I couldn't let
you
him have
arsehole.
It. No, I didn't let him have it. I said
should have let him have it.
No, I said I can't let him have it because then Ken will moan.
Oh, I would have known.
You could have done because he'd never even watched the video, Marcy.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm gonna watch it now.
Yeah, go and watch it. Oh, that was good. That was a good question. Cheers, Stu.
Yeah,
that was a good one.
Right, is it time to have a look at some of our viewers this week? Oh, there's some absolute humdingers in this collection. Again, keep the pictures coming. If you haven't joined the Facebook group, join. The link is in the description below. What we at now? Is it 570? 570. Ooh.
How's that picture coming, Martin?
I'm still struggling. Struggling. If we don't have, we've got 30 people.
It's going to be charge of the light brigade.
I mean, if it's charge of the light brigade, I'm just going to make everyone listen to a trooper by Iron Maiden at the same time on repeat. But it could be worse. But yes, I'm struggling. I did find one, and then it was like it's 600, and then it was like, but if you count support staff and that, it's about 900. Someone will point that out.
Yeah, someone will.
Right. All right, let's start off with. I was blown away by this when I saw it. I have no words for how good this is. It's from Anthony. There we go.
Yes.
Wow.
Just.
The man is the machine.
Speechless.
Ooh, I like the 3rd Battalion flags.
Do you know what I like? Is in the background next to his lamp, there's some kind of medal with the French flag on it.
Oh, yeah.
Oh yeah, and there's an Ewok.
There's a what?
That's even cooler.
Is there an Ewok?
Yeah, there is. There is an Ewok.
Where?
In
the Guards Battalion?
No,
in the
look at the medal. Go to the right on the edge of the table.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. But
sorry,
but Ninja Ewoks aside, that is an absolutely fantastic.
It's an awesome achievement, isn't it?
I can't imagine how many centuries it'd take me to paint that, and it would be measured in centuries. Just fantastic work. Next one up is from Dave, who's been combining World War II and the and 40k with that.
Oh, nice.
The camouflage scheme on that is fantastic.
Oh yeah, that's really cool.
Very good.
That's
what I mean. Now if I went to 40k, I'd definitely make the models my own a bit more, especially with guard and stuff. I'd definitely be peeing around with it.
Yeah,
there's so many different guard regiments. You know.
I swear you just said garden. I swear to God, you just said garden and not guard. I was like sitting there going, I didn't want to say it. I was like, what's he on about with garden?
That's a guard.
It's like the Emperor of Mankind's there tending his begonias.
I think Dave's going to be doing an entire project painted like that. I'm looking forward to seeing that because that is going to look really good. I actually painted my Cadians in German uniforms, but that should surprise nobody. Up next is I've forgotten the name of this battle. It's from Don. Look at that.
Oh, brilliant.
Oh, was this his Marsden Moore one?
That was that.
Moore,
yeah, we
wasn't
got
it?
it.
Yeah, it was.
It's
Yeah.
French.
Oh, no. He did Napoleonic. No, was it quite Quatre Bras? Maybe. I've forgotten.
He was doing an Easter Master Moore, but that doesn't look like it. That's
No,
Napoleonic.
he did some.
There's British and Frenchies there.
I think
That's
it might be
maybe
I wanna-
Quatre Bras. Yeah, maybe.
But that looks. I mean, I know I bang on about not painting Napoleonics, but that's inspiring, isn't it?
Very much so.
I mean, that's inspiring, and that's definitely inspiring.
How is your 172nd coming on?
Yeah, I've not touched them for a while. They will get done eventually. It's a learning experience for me. Now these are nice. These are from Eccentric Man Ken. Some 18mm Hanoverians.
Very good. Very
They
good.
look like 28,
Lovely.
don't they?
They're so good, aren't they? Yeah, you're right. They do look much bigger scale.
They're very cool.
Really, very, very nice. I know that. I mean, to have colours pop like that at that scale, tremendous work, Ken. Tremendous work. Up next, we have Lee with I don't know what these are. It's a Blade Thorn Warband. Is it?
Is that for the Shadespire Beast Gravy game, like in what that they do in Games Workshop? Because
It might be.
They look cool.
I just like the look of them. I just think the range of figures that the Games Workshop now do for Age of Sigmar and all those related games, that you could definitely use them in other games. They're just that good. And here we have Matt up next with his Landsknets.
Nice.
Very cool.
Let's get back on them. That's what I should be doing.
Very, very nice there, Matt. Actually, I think are you using I think that is that von Fronsberg's flag there. That's what I've based mine on.
Oh, I forgot you're the expert on everything to do with Landsknets. Brilliant.
No, cod pieces, not everything. Now this, I've wanted to do this, but I've put it off for years. And it's Boba Fett.
Oh, Boba Fett.
Oh yeah,
That's very cool.
That is very, very good. Look at the damage on the helmet as well. It's just
I like it, man. Do you know what? I've just recently watched The Mandalorian.
Yeah.
I never watched it before, and there's a new series. I loved it. I purposely didn't watch any of it because I thought, it's going to be crap and ruin Star Wars for me. I was wrong.
No, it's saving Star Wars is what it's doing.
Yeah.
Have you watched the Book of Boba Fett?
No, not yet. I was going to watch the first episode this weekend, so
Okay.
I'm looking forward to that.
I won't ruin anything. All right.
No, please don't. I really did enjoy Mandalorian, though. I'm not going to lie. I really, really did enjoy it.
I love
Yes.
that model. The damage is wicked.
yes, but I don't think my painting would do it justice. So I've never even attempted it. I just wouldn't do it. Up next, now Robin painted this during the stream last week. It's a crusading priest.
Yes.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Oh,
I think
nice, man. Love the robes. The effects on the robes is very cool.
that's the same one. It's off the Anglo-Saxon sprue. I built the same chap last week. Funny enough, it's off the Anglo-Saxon Victrix sprue. Do you remember when I was swearing that I snapped stuff? I snapped that stuff.
Oh yeah.
Oh, mate.
Oh, I like that. See his interesting haircut there. I went to a fancy dress party years ago as a monk, and I actually had a haircut like that. They gave me this thing to put on top of my head.
If you have too many in Derby, you might wake up with them.
Yeah, that's probably
Too many Prosecco, Steve. Jeez Louise. You're going to be...
I'll be staying away with the Prosecco. Let's have a little bit of bolt action now from Matthew.
Oh, nice.
Some of the,
very good.
yes,
Very
so
British,
a
lovely.
Piat team from the new bolt action British infantry plastics.
I love the highlights on it.
Yeah, they really pop. They really do. I think he's just started a completely new project on that. Very good. What else we got? I believe that's it. Oh, no, we haven't. One more. Oh, that's yours.
That's me. That's me. Yeah, and that probably won't look anything like that when it's finished. So
no, there we go. That's it for this week. Again, everyone loves seeing each other's work. So if you haven't joined the Facebook group yet, please join and get your project up on the Facebook group.
Yeah, definitely. If you're coming to CrackCon, which 50 of you are, then oh god, it's in 12 days. We right, lads, we need to book it.
We need to organise everything. Oh.
That's it.
I'm still trying to sort out my. I'm trying to sort a hire car out.
You joking?
No, I'm going to see if I can get a free car trip up there again.
If you're coming to CrackCon, then you should have received your email, your info sheet for email today. That would have been sent to the email you booked the ticket with, or if you ended up getting the ticket through us, then it was the email that you sent that on. Please check it. Check your spam folders. I don't know what the Plastic Crack Podcast email account gets. Maybe we are.
It's Gmail, so it should be all right.
Should be all right, but have a check. Anyone got any questions, then you can email us at theplasticcrackpodcast@gmail.com. And there's all sorts of stuff in there that Hayley went and found out and updated, like train time, stations, nearest cash point, all of that kind of stuff. There's also information on the raffle and armies and what to do. As we get nearer the time, as in within the next sort of 10 days, we'll release a little bit more information about what time you can get in there to set up if you're putting on a game against if you're just obviously turning up. And also there will be a survey going out in the next few days where we just need you to fill in things like contact number, dietary requirements, and X, Y, and Z.
Card number, PIN number.
Card number, national insurance, passport photo.
Blood type, all sorts.
Exactly. That's the CrackCon news. So that's all good.
God, it's coming again.
No, Steph, I don't think we're having a painting competition for this one, are we?
No.
No.
Not this time. Maybe on the next one. But we did get our act together and think of anything.
This one from James. So I think a few of us are around Friday night. I think a lot of us are coming over Friday, aren't we?
Yeah.
So they put a post in the group to organise.
I'm going to get a National Express, I think. I might leave Laura with the car. If I can't get a thing, it's only £10 for a coach return. It's 7 hours, so I can listen to my Lord of the Rings book.
Fill your boots. I think on the Friday night we're going to be sequestering ourselves, aren't we? For at least for an hour.
Yes,
there will be stuff that needs to be done.
And panicking. While we
have to have a group consolation before we go forward.
Exactly. Oh dear, but no, we got that. There should be a couple of surprises on the day for everybody who's attending as well. We're all very much looking forward to it. So yes,
definitely.
And then should I say about next week?
Oh yes, next week.
So next week we are going to be joined once again by Simon Miller, the author of To the Strongest, and hopefully he's going to be able to tell us more about the Renaissance rules, which he said he'd have finished by Easter.
He promised to be done, didn't he?
So we will. So we'll be joined by him next week. Please feel free to send us if you've got any questions. Simon will be again talking about maybe some more about rules and systems, and just having a chat with him and how things have developed with To the Strongest over the last 6-7 months, and
we should ask him that question about house rules. See what he thinks.
We should do. There, I've got a. There's another one in that's hidden away in there in stews. So I'll keep that one secret for now. But there's one in there that I think is going to cause some controversy, especially with Ken. So I think I'm going to ask that next week. So Simon will join us, and that will be me next week. Yes, it'll be me. So yes.
And there won't be a podcast the following Monday.
No.
because
we'll all be recovering.
Because we won't be friends anymore. We won't want to talk to each other.
Jesus Christ.
because I think we'll all be a bit goosed from the weekend's frivolities.
I'm going to be hiding from people when I upset the game on the Wars of the Roses, and people get upset with me for wrecking plans in ways that they're all trying to guess. So I'll probably be a man. I'll be hiding.
I'm gonna. My mission is to get Dom to drink at least 1 pint of pineapple flavored ale.
Dom, what would it be? The pineapple ale or turnips and models?
I'll have the ale.
I just remember the look of utter disgust on your face, and I wafted that pint of Beavertown under your nose.
Oh, God, mate, I don't know how you drank that. I really do not know.
I don't know how we drank a lot of what we drank, and obviously we should say that I imagine that there will be a trip to the pub afterwards. That would just be if people want to come to the pub. If we all happen to end up in the same pub, then fantastic. We may have to go back to the same one where we took over the whole beer garden.
It's not an organised pub rule on behalf of us.
No.
But if we all end up in the same place, that'll be it. And hopefully the travel lodge won't kick us out.
Oh, God. Well, the amount of money we spent in there, I should hope not.
Definitely.
No. I drank a fair few Beavertowns in there. It was rather nice.
It was a good little pub, that one.
Anyway, we've hit 10 o'clock.
Superb.
The night's proceedings have flown by like a big flying thing. So,
Jesus.
You're just a poet, aren't you? We didn't know it.
So, again, massive thanks to everyone that joined us for a bit of a hobby chin wag tonight. Again, another big thank you for everyone that's watching this on the catch up. We always appreciate that. I mentioned it before, but if you want to join the Facebook group and you haven't done it already, link is in the description below. Answer Dom's questions 3, and ye should be admitted entrance to the group.
You shall not pass unless you do.
And again, just with the playlist, if anyone's got any suggestions, just leave them in the thread on the Facebook group, and I will add them at some point this week. It's slowly becoming the ultimate painting playlist. But like I say, next week we're on Martin's channel for Simon Miller. So join us at 8 o'clock next week, and we will all see you then. So take it easy, guys. See you later.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye.